Welcome back. We've got a fascinating stack of sources right here,
Yeah.
all giving us a peek into what's been buzzing in the world of video games recently, tailored just for you. Okay, let's unpack this.
Right. So we've basically pulled insights from the latest news updates, major industry announcements, and market activity to build this picture for you. Our goal is pretty simple. Quickly get you the most important takeaways on recent developments. Think big events, new games, ongoing trends, that sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And the first massive item, I mean, it's jumping out from these sources, right?
Hmm.
E3 2025 seems like it was the place for revealing what's next.
It really was, yeah. One consistent theme in the sources is how E3, well, it still feels like a critical platform for unveils. We saw mentions of significant trailers dropping, the kind that really set the tone for the next year or so.
Mhm.
And major developers, publishers, they were definitely making waves with their big announcements there. It's still a key moment, generates a lot of industry hype.
Yeah, you feel that buzz. And it's not just about future reveals, is it? These sources highlight huge games arriving, like right now. Seeing a lot of discussion around the Elden Ring DLC, for instance,
Hmm.
and Battlefield 6.
Yeah, those are big ones.
These aren't just new games. They represent massive investments, huge player bases. They often define a genre for a while, don't they?
That's a great point. And what's interesting, I think, is how these big, really anticipated AAA releases, the kind that dominate headlines, drive hardware sales, even they launch alongside the constant spectacle of events like E3. It sort of shows this dual focus in the industry. You've got to deliver those blockbuster moments now, but also keep setting expectations for what's coming further down the line.
Right, right. Keep the pipeline visible. And beyond the big launches and events, the sources also point to the competitive side of gaming being, well, absolutely electric. The esports scene is consistently described as buzzing. Major tournaments happening across giants like League of Legends, Dota 2, CSGO.
Hmm. And this raises an important point the sources touch on, which is how the health and, the sheer scale of these competitive scenes, they reflect and also influence game development itself. The prize pools you see, the viewership numbers, they indicate ongoing player investment in titles that often operate under like a live service model.
Always being updated.
Exactly, meaning they're constantly updated. It's this cycle where developer effort in these big titles is clearly tied to their competitive viability and community engagement.
And speaking of ongoing work, even games that aren't brand new are getting a lot of developer love, according to these sources. They detail developers rolling out significant updates, patches for popular live service titles.
Exactly, and these updates are just crucial for longevity, aren't they? The sources mention them not just for fixing bugs that pop up, obviously, but often for introducing entirely new content or balancing gameplay for competitive fairness, maybe adding features that keep the player base engaged month after month. It really highlights that for so many games now, launch is, well, it's just the beginning of the journey.
Gotcha. And underpinning all of this, we can't forget the hardware. There's still a lot happening on the console front with the latest generation, right? PlayStation 5 and
Yes.
Xbox Series XS.
Yes, absolutely. The sources consistently note continued developments for both platforms. This includes specific major game titles launching exclusively or maybe with enhanced features on PS5 and Series XS,
Okay.
and also just ongoing system updates that refine features or boost performance. It's a reminder that the console ecosystem is actively evolving right alongside the software that drives it.
Okay, so just to quickly recap the major threads we pulled from these sources for you,
Hmm.
we touched on the key event buzz out of E3, those huge game launches like the Elden Ring DLC and Battlefield 6, the really vibrant world of esports, highlighted by big tournaments in League of Legends, Dota 2, and CSGO, plus that constant stream of game updates keeping titles fresh, and the ongoing evolution of next-gen consoles like PS5 and Xbox Series XS.
Yeah, and if we connect all of this to the bigger picture the sources seem to paint, well, we see a gaming landscape that is just incredibly active, it's multifaceted, and it's moving at a really rapid pace across multiple fronts all at the same time. From the spectacle of global events and these blockbuster software releases to the persistent work on live games and the underlying hardware, it's all sort of converging. So maybe a final thought to leave you with, based on the material. Given this constant cycle we see in the sources, events like E3, major launches, live game updates, console developments, what does this relentless pace actually mean for players trying to keep up and for the developers navigating this incredibly dynamic space?
That's definitely something to consider as you look at what you're playing and, the news hitting your feeds.
Yeah.
We've extracted the key insights from this stack, giving you that focused view of what's been happening. Keep exploring.